Peace. What's going on, everybody? Give everybody a chance to tune on in before I start building on the topic for the day. Hopefully, everybody is having a fabulous Sunday thus far. Give y'all a chance to populate chat room here before we start building. Got some things we want to get off our chest on this Sunday, man. Just got a vent. Antoinette, peace. What's going on? I got to respond to that email for you, but I got some tips for you. Magic Realms, what's going on? Justin Green, peace. What's going on? James Brown, peace. What's going on? How this Sunday treating y'all? Hopefully it's treating y'all fantastically. NFL Malik, beautiful guy. This key is going right into the content, right into the information. She already she getting right to it. She ain't wasting no time. Amber, peace. What's going on? No doubt for the belly button video. Yeah, real helpful. I'm gonna have a bunch of those type of videos, man. Just real simple techniques to help you elevate your health and take it to the next level. Nikki the Goddess, peace. What's going on with you? We got some queens in the building today. Dominique, what's going on with you? I already know how I go, man. I just finished with a few clients, so I already know. Oh, CJ, no doubt. Yeah, we letting them hang today. We letting the locks hang and let them breathe today. We letting them breathe. Thunder Scorpion, peace. What's going on? Rex, the Olympian, appreciate the donation. We appreciate that donation. But yeah, it's Sunday, man. So I'm feeling real preacherish today, you know, or should I say teacherish. So I got some things I need to get off my chest. Really though, peace. What's going on? Thunder Scorpion, no doubt. No doubt. I want to build on that because like I said, we just outside of like us blaming other people, we just always looking for something external in regards to explaining why certain things are happening. Like for the life of me, if you think it's some evil force behind you doing evil things other than it just being you, then we got a lot of work to do internally. But sadly enough, it's a lot of people that subscribe to that. It's a lot of people that believe that. A lot of people believe that the only reason that they did these evil things is because they were tempted by a devil. They were tempted by a Satan or whatever the case may be. That's the only reason why they indulge in the evil acts. And they look at it as a temptation. No, you indulge in that evil act or you indulge in that sinful act because you lack the discipline. You lack the discipline. Don't try to make it seem like it's a temptation. You lack the discipline. Lindell, Marcus G, peace, what's going on? Really though, I'm gonna check him out. You're pushing 4T, what's going on? So it's like lack of discipline. Don't try to say it's temptation. And I was building with a client of mine, and she was basically wondering, she basically was saying it's always something that she got to be dealing with. And she was just like, why is that? Why is it always something when you striving to make your life positive, when you striving to implement a lot of healthy and positive changes in your life? Why do it seem like you always got to face that obstacle, that encounter? And that's when a lot of people start attributing things to a devil, saying, okay, the devil is tempting me, Satan is tempting me. No, what's happening is the normal way of the world outside of you striving to make those healthy changes is chaotic, it's negative, it's destructive. So when you say, okay, I'm about to make a positive change or a healthy change in my life, you going against a strong current. You going against a negative current. You going against a chaotic current. You going against a destructive current. You going against the flow of what's the norm. So when you go against the flow of what's the norm, then you about to get hit with a bunch of obstacles. You're about to get hit with a bunch of negativity because you're going against the flow of what's the norm. Opposed to if you just said, I'm going to be negative, I'm going to be destructive, I'm going to be unhealthy, then you going with the flow of what's the norm out here. So when you go against that current, when you go against that negative normal flow, then you're going to get met with a lot of resistance. And that's why you tend to have those situations pop up anytime you say, okay, I'm about to implement some healthier changes, or I'm about to implement some positive changes in my life. Yes, you're going to get hit with that negative current 9.9 times out of 10, because probably everybody around you and then everybody around them is just negative. People are not in the best state. We don't have the best environment outside of self, man. Most people that you're going to come across, they depressed, they negative, they destructive mentally. So when you striving to be the opposite of that, like, again, you're going to get met with that type of resistance, that type of opposition. But that don't mean you have to make it spooky. That don't mean you have to make it spooky. You don't have to try to bring a deity or an entity into the mix and say that's the reason why you are being tempted and things of that nature. Nah, man, because you're going against you're going against what's the norm out here. When you go against the norm, you already know what happens. So you don't have to seek to place the blame on anything outside of self, man. You just got to get your discipline up. You just got to get that mental strength up, that willpower. Like, you just got to build that and strengthen that. Thunder Scorpion, most definitely. Most definitely. It definitely takes the responsibility and accountability off the person. It's real easy to say, okay, it's the devil tempted me, or the devil made me do it type deal. It's easy to say that because then that strips the responsibility and the accountability away from you, away from the person. Away from the person. And even on the flip side of that, we tend to give credit to another deity. Some refer to God, Allah, whatever it is, when good things happen. Nah, you passed that test, right? You put in the work. You did the studying. You studied for that test. You passed that test. You passed that exam because you put in the work that was required to pass the exam. So you give yourself some credit. You did that, man. Like, you didn't just pray and then pass a test. No, you may have prayed, but you have to put in the work. So the work is what led to you passing that test, point blank, period. Terenzo, OG, what's going on with you? Yeah, Outwitting the Devil. That's a piece. That book is peace. Snuggle 668, appreciate that donation. And that is exactly what I'm telling people. Are you trying to tell people a lot of things that has happened in their life is because of their own doing and not someone else because they allowed it? Again, like I quoted that lyric, 99.9% of things happen to you are your own fault. A lot of us don't want to hear that. It may sound harsh, but that is an actual fact. When you start analyzing everything that happened to you in life, I guarantee you're going to play a role in why it happened. But for the most part, we're going to tend to point the finger at someone else. Y'all heard me mention that when I was on my wife's channel. Y'all heard me mention that I asked people on Facebook what role did they play in their most toxic relationship. And a lot of people was basically making themselves look good. Like, nah, man, you mean to tell me everybody that was on that thread, nobody was toxic. Nobody contribute to toxicity. Everybody was good on that end that responded, and it was all the other person's fault. It's easy to do that. It's easy for me to look back and say, all right, in my most toxic relationships, they were the problem. It ain't have nothing to do with me. No, I definitely played a role in that. So that's what tends to happen, man. We tend to place the blame on other people, and we want to make ourselves look like innocent victims. We always want to make ourselves look innocent. Like, nah, man, you played a role in that. Always acknowledge your role. Always. What the Rock say, know your role and shut your mouth. So you always want to acknowledge your role. Always. Very seldom, and it's very rare cases. So rare cases where something may happen to you and you had no role in it, no say so in it. Very rare, especially as we become adults. Like, then that's really out of the equation. Oh, Dominique, no doubt. You gonna get the information. Orlando, most that, man, you ain't the only one. We all on that healthy journey with you. This day 3 of my raw detox, man. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good, man. My mind is feeling clear. I'm feeling lighter, man. I'm just feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. The only thing I got to do is just up my water. But again, when I'm consuming smoothies and drink and eat my fruits and whatnot, that's water in and of itself from the fruit and from the smoothies. But I'm feeling good, man. Day 3, I'm rolling. I'm rocking and rolling. Thunder Scorpion is definitely confirmation bias, most definitely. Thunder Scorpion, and for the most part, like, it definitely isn't something invisible. Like, listen, everything that's happening to you in your life, like, it is not happening to you because of some invisible force, like some supernatural deity causing it to happen. telling you this is not happening, man. A lot of these things are tied to your mental state, and it's tied to other people and their mental states. Like, that's what's happening. That's what's happening. So we got to know and understand that. That's why your thoughts are everything. That's why that mental state is everything. That's why everything kind of revolves around that. Everything is a reflection of that mental state. Everything is a reflection of your mind state, of your perception, of your perspective. So your self-image is everything, man. They say how you see yourself is very important. Our beautiful God is keys. Yeah, like I told you, it's gonna be easy. Light work. That's why I tell my client, when I'm training my clients, I'll be like, light work is easy. I'm always repeating that, man. Repetition. Repetition is key. I'm always telling people it's light work and it's easy. Or if they lifting weights, I'm like, it's lightweight. CCH most definitely, and that's all I'm trying to get people to realize and understand. Like I said, a lot of people, I have people, they so everything is so distorted mentally for them. Like when bad things, so-called bad things, start happening to them, they be wondering why these so-called bad things or these unfortunate things are happening to them, because they feel like they are a good person. I'm like, dude, first of all, none of us are 100% good. Nobody is a 100% bad. Like, we all do things that are deemed as good, and we all do things that are deemed as bad. So, and that's just life. Life is a reflection of that. So you're going to have unfortunate things happen to you, and you're going to have fortunate things happen to you, because that's a reflection of life. That's a reflection of life. So it's not going to be a situation where all so-called good things are happening to you and no bad things are happening. Life would be boring if that was the case. If that was the case. And if you feel like for the most part, more negative things are happening to you, then you need to shift the paradigm. You need to shift your mentality. Maybe these so-called negative things are happening to you for a reason, and you just not picking up on the reason, and you not extracting the lesson from why these negative things are happening. Maybe those things that you think are negative are actually positives, but you looking at it in the wrong light. So we need to stop viewing things as negative and positive, man. Just view things as they are. View things as they are. So we need to stop looking at things in that good or that bad light, because that's not really how it should be done. All the things that happen to us, all the experiences, they are neutral. We place that label of good. We place that label of bad on it. So we need to stop doing that, man. Just look at everything in that neutral light. Then you will be able to take that lesson from it. The moment you stop that thing, you stop that experience, and you say, this was a bad experience, this was a good experience, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. Oh, Snuggle 668 is easy. The way that I can say we can look into that mirror when it comes to finances and children, especially when it comes to finances, is education. It's education. It's education. Because I work in the banking industry. It's a lot of Black people that's not suffering financially because they educated themselves and then they implemented what they learned. Most of the people that were at a certain level financially, they were there because of education, lack of education. We all can learn. We got access to all that information that we need. It's education. Just being open to that information, being open to that education. I can count on my man. Listen, the number of people who I tried to like educate when it came to things like business, when it came to investing, like the amount of Black people that wasn't open to that information, like it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. They just was not open to that information, and that's their fault. There is no like when it comes to finances, man, it's too easy to get that information. It's too easy to get that information, implement that information. Listen, they wrote the rules in a way to where we can take advantage of them just like they can. We just got to learn the rules, and we just got to learn the law. That's education. That's education. So we just got to learn. So when you're not striving to learn, that's on you. That's your fault. And when you're not striving to implement what you have learned, that's your fault. That's on you. Yeah, the government can have a role, but at the end of the day, they want to be us so bad. They admire us. They wouldn't be in existence without us. So we have the power. All we got to do is realize it and act out that reality. And that's on us. That's on us. We can sit here and blame the government. We can sit here and blame the white man all day long. We can acknowledge his role all day long, which is what I do. But what we going to do about it, though? What we going to do about it, though? Well, we don't. The fault of the government and the fault of the white man is that, again, they put a lot of this stuff out here in plain sight for us to take advantage of it. But a lot of us are not taking advantage of it because we feel like it's a loot, it's a trick. But it's not, though, man. It's a lot of people taking advantage of tax laws, man, just by studying wealth, studying the ways that some of these white wealthy people move. We can move the same way. We just don't think that we can because they have conditioned us to believe that we can't. We can move exactly like that and 10 times better. The rules are laid out here. The rules are laid out here, man. But they say you want to hide something from a black man, put it in a book. That's exactly what they have done. They have put these things in a book. They have put these things in book form, and they know we're not gonna read the books. So once we crack open the books, man, all of that'll change. We ain't even gonna blame the government. We're gonna create our own government because we're gonna know and understand what needs to be done. But we got to open up these books, and it starts with education. So again, that's our fault. That's on us. That's on us. So again, we can acknowledge the role of the government, the role of the white man, the role of white people. That's cool. But at the end of the day, we play a role in this as well ourselves. We play a role in this ourselves as well. And we got to realize that. We got to realize that we giving them too much energy when we continue to blame them. We give the government and we give the white folks too much energy when we just continue to blame them. They getting all that energy. They getting all that power because we blaming them. We making them more powerful when we do that. So we got to stop doing that. Yeah, they got a role in it, but man, we are the powerful beings. We are the original people of the planet Earth. We are the supreme beings of the planet Earth. That's us. That's us. So when we know and understand that, man, we cannot be stopped. Yeah, Thunder Scorpion. I've heard that. Man, I've heard a lot of people kind of justify being unhealthy by saying, you know, I'm just going to appreciate the body that God gave me. As if I'm saying basically to work out and chop some of the body fat down is telling you you're not satisfied with who you are. Like, nah, I'm telling you to take that version of yourself and mold it so you can be the healthiest version of yourself, so you can be around for your children, so you can be around and enjoying your life instead of having to rely on some medication, which is what I know would come from that. So a lot of people can't understand that, and they get into their feelings when I say things like that. But at the end of the day, we should always be striving to be the healthiest version of ourselves. So that's not saying that you're not satisfied with who you are. Man, I'm satisfied with who I am, but I know I want to put on about 10, 15 more pounds of muscle. But I'm satisfied with who I am. I just want to do that. I just want to put on more muscle. So it's like we're not saying that you dissatisfied with who you are. We're not saying to appreciate the way that you were born. And again, we ain't got to attribute that to a deity, man. We can attribute that to a lot of different things outside of a deity in regards to the way that you were born and the way that you were made and the way that you were constructed. So I don't know why people are quick to go to a deity for that. But if you're going to appreciate your temple, which is your body is that temple. The best way to show appreciation towards that is to be the healthiest version of yourself. That's the only way to really appreciate the temple. You got to treat that temple with respect. And the only way to treat it with respect is to make sure you feed it what it needs. And you are exercising. So you are supplying it with what it needs. If you don't do that, you're not appreciating that temple that you were born with. Terenzo, most definitely. Those thoughts become things, as they say. Chaos reign. Peace. What's going on? But yeah, thoughts become things. That's what they say. Chaos reign when it, like in the banking industry, you talking about the people that actually work in the industry or the customers. Because it was a lot of brothers and a lot of sisters, man, in the banking industry that they was doing everything right and exact, and they was always willing to listen and willing to teach. It was the customers, and that's when you see that lack of education. So then it's just like we got to be open to a new way. We got to be open to new methods. So a lot of the things that we think is right and exact, like, nah, it's not right and exact. Like we got to think big, and that's another thing that holds us back as a people. We don't think big enough. We don't think big enough, man. We have been conditioned to think mediocre. We deal with mediocrity. We deal with being average. So our mindset is always average. So we always striving to do like the bare minimum or the average. Very rarely do you find a black person that's thinking big, man, that just has a big vision. Because what tends to happen is this happens to us as we are children. You know, when you that black seed, when you that black child and you had that big vision for yourself, You know, the adults have been conditioned and programmed to shoot that vision down, to shoot that ambition down, and tell you need to come back down to earth in reality. You need to minimize that vision, man. Like, you ain't gonna be able to make money doing that. You're gonna have to do this. So that vision, those dreams, those aspirations, that ambition is killed as we are youngest, when we had that vision, that imagination, and we got a lot of emotion behind that, backing that. And that's when you really start manifesting it. But them parents tend to shoot it down sometimes. Them adults be like, nah, man, you thinking too big. That's unrealistic. I had that happen to me, but it wasn't my parents. It was like teachers and whatnot. It was teachers at the high school where I was at, man. I was thinking big for myself, and they basically told me to get back down to earth on it. And I listened to them, and that influenced me. I should have continued to think big. I let them convince me to think like an average person. We ain't average. We ain't mediocre people. We not average people. So we need to stop thinking like we average and mediocre people. We not. So that's one thing that we got to stop doing, man. If everybody else is thinking that way, then you know that you need not think that way, because we not like everybody else. Can't follow the norm, man. You got to think above and beyond the average way. You got to transcend above mediocrity, man. You shouldn't be comfortable thinking on the average level. You shouldn't be comfortable thinking on that mediocre level. Transcend above and beyond that. The wife is in the building, y'all. Peace to the wife. But yeah, we always got to take accountability. And I don't care if you played a small role in it. You still played a role. So that's the thing about accountability. I don't care if your role was small. I don't care if your role only attributed to 1% of the problem. You focus on that. You was responsible for 1% of the problem. That's enough. That's enough. So again, when it comes to accountability, man, just acknowledge your role. I don't care how small the percentage was or is. Acknowledge that role. If it was 1%, if it was 5%, if it was 90%, man, just acknowledge that role. Acknowledge it and do something about it. Don't look at it and be like, man, I was only responsible for 1% of the problem. No, that 1% can be measured. That 1% can be measured, because then we're talking about the 80-20 rule. In line of business, like 80% of your profit gonna come from 20% of your clientele. So like, listen, so again, that 1% could be large. Just like that 20% is responsible for keeping you in business. So that small percentage can actually be big and have a big impact. So you need to focus on that small percentage. So I don't care what the percentage is. Hold yourself accountable for it. The underscore be X clan quote. Beautiful quote. Beautiful quote. And that's all we trying to do. We always striving to maintain. No attempt to elevate, achieve, evolve. None of that. We satisfied. Maintain. Or we striving to get on the same level as white folks. And I mentioned that in the lyric. Man, but I forgot how I wrote it, and I forgot how I rapped it. But I'm like, man, I'm not striving to be on the same level as white folks. I'm striving to get above and beyond their level, because that's my true level. So I'm not striving to do things like them. I'm striving to do things greater than them. So a lot of times that's what you see. They call them the bourgeoisie. You got some of these black folks that strive to get on that same level as white folks, and then they hold demeanor changes. The whitewashed individuals, black and white face, man. Y'all know about the bourgeoisie. Malcolm X talked a lot about it. Malcolm X talked a lot about them, man. But y'all know a lot about these brothers and sisters, man. They out here, they get to that certain level. They out here interacting with these white folks. They happy that some of these white folks then allow them in certain circles, and then they hold demeanor changes. They act like they too good to be around their own people. I don't rock with those people. And that's what tends to happen when black folks try to get on the same level as white folks. Then when they feel like they on that same level, which that's an illusion, because these white folks ain't gonna never let you be on the same level as them. So once it appears as if you're on that same level because you in certain functions and buildings and groups with them, then they start to change. They hold demeanor changes. They too good for the black people. No, sir. No, ma'am. That's not how that works. That's not how we rolling. That's not how we rolling. I'm striving to be above and beyond them. I don't want to be on their level. I'm above and beyond their level. Magic rims, most definitely. It definitely humbles us, and it definitely keeps us grounded. That's why you should always hold yourself accountable. That's why you should always take responsibility for everything. Even if it, man, listen, even if it wasn't entirely your fault, like I said, man, just be responsible. Man up, woman up. Say, all right, man, it wasn't totally my fault, but man, I could have did this better. Oh, Antoinette, no doubt. And that's disastrous when it comes to a child, because for the most part, that child is going to listen to the adults that they look up to. So that's why I tell these adults, you got to be very cautious in regards to what you tell your children, man. If they have a big vision, if they have a big goal, man, support it. Support it. Support. When you see that they serious about it, man, you support that. You don't shoot it down. You don't tell them they need to get down to earth. They need to get back down to reality. That is reality. That is reality. If that child is telling you they're going to be a billionaire because they're going to open X amount of businesses, why you think that that's far-fetched? See, we think that's far-fetched. If the white child says that I'm about to open up all these businesses and I'm going to become a billionaire by 25 or by 30, they like, all right, bet. They gonna support that. They gonna support that. That Jewish child, man, he say the same thing. It's like, all right, bet, let's get it. I'm gonna show you the ropes. We gonna show you how to get to that. We gonna support it. We gonna back. We gonna put all the money behind it. When that black child say, man, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bypass school and I'm gonna start this business, and this business is gonna make me a billionaire. We like, nah, you need not do that. You need to get yourself in this debt. You need to go to this school. You need to get this piece of paper. You need to find you a decent job. You need to work that job 30, 40 years. Like that's a reality these days, and you need to retire. Like, come on. Thunder Scorpion, man, I got plenty of books that talk about people don't, when I break down prayer, man, I just look at prayer as an affirmation. I look at prayers as being affirmations and just positive self-talk. A lot of time, like at the end of the day, the way it's broken down in a lot of books. So a lot of people, they pray to whatever entity that they pray to. And all right, so when you pray, let's say you praying to pass the test, you praying to this guy, you praying to this entity, you pass the test. You're going to give credit to that entity because you feel like that's what you prayed to. You feel like that's the reason why you passed it. Well, if I prayed to this mug right here, all right, if I pray to this every night, if I'm praying to pass tests, if I'm praying to get more clients, and I'm praying to this right here, and all of those things start happening to me, how can you tell me that the reason why the stuff that's happening to me is not because I prayed to this mug? So that's how faulty that stuff is, man. You can literally pray to anything every night. It's prayer, just affirmation, positive self-talk. So I can pray to any and everything, and I guarantee you good things gonna happen because I'm praying for these things to happen, man. That's positive energy. It's a lot of emotion behind it. But we just praying to an entity, so we gonna give credit to the entity. Man, I can pray to this computer that I'm on right now every night, and good things start happening to me, and I can say it's because I prayed to the computer. People have done, like, it's experiments that have shown and proved that. So a lot of times we be giving credit to things that we don't need to even give credit for. So people don't even understand that science. You can experiment like that on your own, man. You can find an item and you can pray to that item. I guarantee you things going to start going good for you because it's just affirmations, positive self-talk. You encouraging yourself, man. It's a lot of emotion behind it. You want this to happen. You need to pass this test. Let me pass this test. I really need to pass this test. You can pray to this book. You can pray to these books. You can pray to anything. Guarantee you put enough energy behind it, enough concentration, focus, emotion behind it, is going to happen. So I can tell y'all from experience, it wasn't no difference when I was praying to a God from when I was like, thought everything was like from the sun. Like I didn't worship the sun, all that, man, just the nature, whatever, man, whatever it was, I directed my energy towards. I was manifesting things. That's when I realized, like, at the end of the day, that's just me. I don't need to pray to something. That all of that is within me, man. So all I got to do is talk to myself because that's literally what I'm doing. So I had to stop doing that. Once I realized that anything I prayed to, I was getting the same result for the most part. It was still happening as long as I did the proper work. I was like, oh, okay. So you don't have, like, when you believe that something is behind, like, answering your prayers, like you have a hard time proving to me that, because I can literally pray to this laptop every night and things gonna happen for me. So You won't be able to deny that evidence. Not saying that you don't pray and all that type of stuff, man, but let's just be real with what is actually happening. Let's be real with what is actually happening. Let's be real about what prayer actually is. And it all going to go back to self. It's all going to go back to that self-talk, that motivation, that affirmation. Like, that's literally what you're doing. You putting certain thoughts out there in the universe. You putting certain thoughts out there in the universe, man. That's really what's going on. Yeah, Nigel, and that's the slippery slope, because they've been programmed to think that way. That's the slippery slope. But it's like, at some point, we're gonna have to break that programming. At some point, we're gonna have to know better, and we're gonna have to do better. Justin Green, no doubt, man. I got a bunch of information that I can send your way in regards to research material to help you begin that process. So I got some material that I can definitely shoot your way in regards to studying just Eastern medicine and things like that, because I've been getting more into that myself. So I got a lot of material that I can shoot your way that'll help with that. Oh yeah, Thunder Scorpion. I seen that you was basically saying the stuff that I had just said. Static Peace, what's going on? So yeah, no doubt. So we, like I said, we giving credit to any and everything outside of ourselves for the so-called good things, for the so-called bad things. Now give yourself some credit. Give yourself some credit for the good things that may happen in your life. Give yourself some credit for the bad things that may happen to you in your life. You played a role in all of that, man. It wasn't because some devil tempted you. It wasn't because you prayed so hard about it, man. It's people that are very religious, man, that pray every night, and things don't go their way. Things don't go their way. So we gotta understand what's really going on, man. It's people that's in the same boat. So you believe your God shows favoritism. Why is he answering your prayers and not the person that is in the same boat as you, that's praying just as frequently as you, probably more? You're not special, you know. The difference gonna lie in you probably put in more work than that person. They may just be thinking that all they can do is pray, but you was praying and putting in the work. So that's the difference. So it ain't about favoritism. It's about, all right, man, we both praying, but one of us is putting in more work to make sure we manifest what it is that we are praying for or about. That's the difference. Justin, I don't know if you got like Instagram or like Facebook. You can find me on both of those just by typing in my name, and you can hit me up on there. Montel, peace, what's going on? Magic Realms, no doubt. Like they said, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So when the student is ready, the teacher will appear, and the teacher may not come in physical form. It may come as just a life lesson. It may come as a life lesson. So a lot of times we be sitting around waiting on somebody to instruct us when we shouldn't be waiting on somebody. It's a something. So a lot of times we looking for people to guide us. No, man, life may be guiding you, man. It may be something outside of the physical form that's going to be guiding you. So again, when it comes to being instructed, being led, being guided, man, we looking for physical things. May not be physical, may not be a person, may not be an actual person teaching you. It may be a life experience that you got to learn from. That's going to guide you. That's going to be your teacher. That's what it may be. That's exactly what it's going to be. So hold yourself accountable, man. Hold yourself accountable. Yeah, Magic Realms, and that, and again, that's another thing. When they talked about things being personal guides, a lot of it, that's all it is. It's a personal guide. When they say God made man in his image, no, man made God in his image. Man and woman made God in their image. That's all that's happening. We praying to this personal God, this God that moves how we think that he should move based off of conditioning. So we done made God in our image type deal. So that's all that is. And it's a bunch of songs. My God is an awesome God and all this type of stuff. But then we finna criticize another group of people for worshiping their God. So nah, like at the end of the day, we need to realize all of this stuff is within us. All of this stuff is internal. It don't need to be the war of the gods no more, man. Deal with the internal aspect of what's going on. Deal with the internal aspect of what's going on. Oh, Thunder Scorpion. Yep. And literally, those are responses every time. So if that's the case, man, if everything is pre-planned, then it don't even make any sense for us to basically do all that praying. If everything is pre-planned, then that means it's already written. So at the end of the day, whether you pray for it or not, like, it's gonna happen anyway, because it was pre-planned. So then when you start saying things like that, like, then now you have lost me, because everything is pre-planned already, predetermined, predestined. So at the end of the day, you feel like it's already going to happen. So if that's the case, you might as well not even do that. You might as well just go ahead and do what you got to do, because it's going to happen the way that it's going to happen anyway. Justin, no doubt I got you. So when I get off, man, I'm going to respond. Jamar, peace. What's going on with you, my brother? Appreciate it. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, we were just chopping it up, freestyling it on the Gregorian New Year calendar type deal, man. So we were just freestyling. Yeah, Magic Rims, and that programming got to die. Like I said, at the end of the day, got to realize it's programming. We got to realize how we sound when we say certain things. Just got to realize it, man. Just realize the truth. That's all I ask for people to do. Just realize the truth. Know and understand that we're making a lot of things spooky that don't need to be made spooky. Point blank, period. A lot of the things in life are really simple, but we like to make it mysterious because we like the mystery. And that's a fault with Black people. That's why, you know, they say we are so-called spiritual. So it's easy to get us with a religion. That's an easy way to get Black people. Just give us that religion, because we're going to be in tune with something like that because of the way we are by nature. And that's to our fault, in my opinion. That's to our fault, in my opinion, because it's easy to get us on that emotional level. It's easy to get us on that emotional level. It's real easy to get us. And I feel like that's our fault. I feel like that's our weakness. I really feel like that's our weakness. We tend to cling to like stories and myths and all that type of stuff way too easily. And a lot of us not able to decipher, like, we're not able to look at that myth as just a myth. We're not able to look at that allegory as an allegory. We're not able to look at that parable as a parable. We got to make it something literal. Like, again, the Bible, no, don't take it literally. But we do that, though. But we pick and choose when we want to take the Bible literally. Some people pick and choose when they want to take the Quran literally as well. But we pick and choose when we want to take these books literally. When it comes to something that we lack discipline on, then we don't take that Bible verse seriously. We start making excuses. But when we striving to judge the life of other people, then that's when we want to take the Bible as something that's literal. You shouldn't be doing that according to the Bible. Well, you shouldn't be doing this. Well, I'm a work in progress. God ain't finished with me yet. No, how you gonna criticize the life of somebody else using the Bible? Then when I use the same book to criticize your life, now you making all excuses. So those same excuses that you just came up with apply to this person that you criticize. So they don't even make any sense. But we gotta be able to look at these things as myths. Like, even when we go back to the ancestors and we start talking about Osiris, Isis, Heru, we look at those, we take those things literal for the most part. We don't, those are not things that those are similar to what transpired in the Bible. Those are not things to be taken literally. Those are stories meant to convey a message. So I'm gonna just go outside of the Bible for a moment, man. Even when we worship our ancestors, we take that story. We take those stories literally. The hieroglyphs, the things that were on the wall, we take some of that literally. No, they did that to convey a message. And the best way that we knew how to tell a message or get a point across was tell a story. Draw it out. Oh, Howard, no doubt, man. We gonna be back in Mississippi soon. Y'all know that's where my roots at. Oh, Thunder Scorpion. It's so many things that has to be read in context when it comes to deciphering the Bible and the Quran. But like I said, people pick and choose when they want to use that Bible to justify some ways and actions. They pick and choose. They only pick and choose, like I said, when it comes to analyzing your life. They say, hey, well, according to the Bible, you shouldn't be doing this, X, Y, Z. And they doing X, Y, Z. Oh, Thunder Scorpion, man, no doubt. No doubt. Like that, all of that is in the Bible. Man, don't even get me started on King Solomon. Like, don't get me started on that, man. And then we talking about things like, again, things that are obviously meant to convey a message. Man, just walking on water. Man, like stuff like that is symbolic. Like in our culture, water represents wisdom, man. So that's walking wisely. So again, we ain't literally walking on water. Water symbolic to that wisdom, man. So that means just moving according to your wisdom. That's what walking on water, that's how walking on water can be interpreted. But like that ain't something that literally happened. It literally wasn't somebody out here walking on water. Symbolic to wisdom, man. We got to be able to do the knowledge to that. We got to be able to do the knowledge to that, man. We had some people that were into poetry and things like that that had a hand in writing the Bible. So you're going to have a lot of poetic references in there. You're going to have that type of lingo in there when you really decipher it, man. But some of them things, you can't be taking them literally. Like I said, walking on water, that's obviously symbolic. Parting seas, that's obviously symbolic. It's obviously symbolic, man. So come on now. So we got to look at it for what it is. And you got to take the jewel from it. Meaning you got to decipher what the true meaning is. So you look beyond that surface, look beyond what you see. Oh yeah, Thunder Scorpion. I used to ask that question a lot. And for the most part, when I used to ask questions, they used to say I'm interpreting things wrong. So then it turns into that argument that you need to build with a pastor or a preacher or something like that. Somebody that, you know, that's what they do. So you interpreting things wrong. So now it's a battle of interpretation. If something is going down to a battle of interpretation, then that's let me know that, again, it's an allegory. It's a story. So that story, it ain't no right or wrong interpretation. So when you start telling somebody they interpreting it wrong, then that confirms my point. It's all up for interpretation because it's a story. It's not something that's literal. So we can all interpret it a different way. So how is your interpretation any better than mine? If that's how I'm going to see it, then that's my interpretation. How can that be incorrect? If I'm telling you, if I'm telling you the water is symbolic to wisdom, and you feel like the water is actually water, and you feel like somebody walking on water, then those are two different interpretations, but neither one can be right or wrong. Oh yeah, Jamar, no doubt. They always say that. They always say that. Do as I say. How would I do? Then what you got? Do as thy wilt. Yeah, we gonna get into the occult information. Do as thy wilt. Y'all know about that one. Do as thy wilt. That's also a big one. Yeah, beautiful goddess keys, most definitely. Casting spells in the words that you not only speak, but that you write down. Hence, again, why they call it spelling. That's another obvious just wordplay. So they just let you know what's going on when you writing, when you in school. They letting you know the power right there, just spelling it. Spelling. So all of it, man, the intent, the emotion, all of that behind everything that you say, everything that you jot down, you got to have that intent and emotion behind it if you striving to manifest it in the positive light. You can also manifest it in the destructive light, but we're not trying to advocate being destructive out here with your energy, man, with your words, with your thoughts. So obviously we want to use that for the greater good. So when you put that emotion and intent behind it, you good, man. You will manifest it in no time. But that intent, those emotions are powerful. They got to back those words. They got to back those thoughts in order for you to truly manifest it. And that's all you doing that. Nobody else. That's all you. When you manifest something, when you bring something into existence, what we call being born. So when you manifest and bring something into existence, keyword, you are doing that. Like you are doing that. You put the intent, you put the emotion behind those words, behind those thoughts. So it became flesh because you made it become flesh. It became flesh because you brought it into existence. You gave birth to it. It ain't got nothing to do with anything outside of you. You gave birth to that. You brought it to the physical realm. You brought it from the thought to the thing. Oh, beautiful goddess keys, most definitely. You definitely gotta know. You gotta know what you're capable of. You gotta know about your true power. So again, when you know how powerful you are, when you know that you have the ability to do what it is that you're thinking and that you're writing down, then you will be unstoppable. You will be unstoppable. And it's all about alignment. It's all about alignment, making sure everything is in alignment. That's what it's all about. It's all about alignment. And we are always out of alignment. So we may be thinking one thing, but it's like our actions are not in alignment with what we're thinking. And we're wondering why we not manifesting a certain reality. Because again, ways and actions not in alignment with what we thinking, with what we jotting down. Oh, Thunder Scorpion, no doubt. I respect, like my grandfather, man, he is the most religious person you will ever find on this planet. The only book I've ever seen him read is a Bible, and he got about 1,000,000 different Bibles. I respect that man more than anybody on the planet. I respect that man more than anybody on the planet. I'll never take it there with him unless he asks me a question in regards to how I may see something. I still may be a little mindful in regards to how I respond to him. My problem is with the people that tend to criticize, who tend to criticize but don't strive to live out that way of life themselves. And that's a large percentage of that population. And this ain't even, and like I said, I mentioned Hebrew. So this ain't even just the religious folks. These are the spiritual people, the people that cling to ancient Egypt and all that, whatever you cling to. If you're not living out what your ancestors said, if you're not living out what's in that book, then I got a problem with it. If you're not living out what your lessons say, whatever it is that you follow, whatever it is that you adhere to, if you not living exactly what it says, because all of them are giving you a blueprint, if you not living out what it says, but yet you want to criticize other people based on what the text says that you are following, you are a problem. You are part of the problem. That's like me coming at y'all. That's like me basically, y'all know I got my lessons from the culture that I'm in. That's like me criticizing you all based on the lessons that I have, but then I'm not following my own lessons. That's like the lessons telling me not to be a poison animal eater, and I tell you all not to be a poison animal eater, and I criticize y'all for eating the poison animals, but meanwhile, I'm eating the poison animals. That don't even make any sense. I would have a problem with me if I did that. Yeah, beautiful goddess keys, and no doubt. And a lot of people don't understand that. And I tell people all the time, just a lot of people think that just because they didn't verbally say something, then it's not effective. I'm like, no, you just entertaining the thought. You just holding that thought in could be negative and can be destructive. So just because you didn't verbally say something, don't mean it doesn't have an effect on you or the other person. So it's like a lot of times you got to be mindful of what you think. You got to be mindful of what you think, because that thought can be destructive in and of itself. You don't necessarily have to verbalize the thought for it to become destructive. You don't necessarily have to write the thought down for it to be destructive. Just by you thinking it, that can cause enough problems in and of itself. Yeah, Thunder Scorpion, like I said, I'm with that when it comes to every way of life. I'm like that when it comes to every way of life. I'm like that, and that's why I started having a lot of beef with people who considered themselves spiritual, because for the most part, they made a religion out of that. So they was claiming to not be religious, but yet they were more religious than the religious people that they were criticizing. So I had a beef with them for a moment. They was making everything a religion out of that spiritual perspective. I can't tell you how I got tired of hearing the universe this, the universe that, the universe this, the universe that. I'm like, man, you sounded just as bad as the religious folks who you criticize. You just substituted one thing for the universe. And now that you giving the universe all credit for everything. So it was like, man, I got tired of that. I said, man, y'all done made spirituality a religion, and y'all say I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. I had to start asking people, what do you mean? Because for the most part, y'all sounding religious. So I didn't criticize all ways of life, man. And I feel like that's a attribute or a strength that I have. I'm gonna look at everything with a critical eye. So when people came at me and was saying like they not religious, they spiritual, it sounds good. It sounds good, but you may be worse than a religious person. I probably can deal with the religious person better than I can deal with that person, depending on the individual. So hey, I'm gonna criticize all walks, man. Like I said, I got some people that I respect that are religious. I got some people that I respect that's not religious. I got some people that I don't respect that are religious. I got some people that I don't respect that are not religious. But again, don't use your book, don't use your lessons, don't use your culture to criticize me if you're not a prime example or prototype of what a representative of that culture should be. So if you're not a representative of what Christianity should be, or what a Muslim should be, or what a comedic scientist should be, don't criticize me because I'm not a prime example or prototype of what that should be, because I'm not even striving to claim the life. I'm not even striving to claim the life. So don't criticize me. You need to check yourself first. If this is something that you claim, and if this is something that you adhering to, you need to make sure you living it out before you worried about other people living it out. Because that may not be everybody else's truth. What Dead Press say, your way may not be my way, and my way may not be your way type deal. So like, make sure you in tune with the way of life that you subscribe to before you start trying to push it on others and criticize them for not adhering to it, because they not claiming it. So it's kind of a moot point to tell me about myself based off of your scripture, based off of your text, when I don't even claim to be that. That's like that counterproductive. I'm not claiming to be a Christian. I'm not claiming to be a Catholic. So when you judge me based off of what you feel like a Christian should be, you might as well talk to the wall. You might as well talk to the wall at that point, because I'm not claiming to be a Christian. I'm not claiming to be a Catholic. I'm not claiming to be a Muslim. So why would you judge me based off of that criteria? Oh, Kenyatta, man, I've had more like I've actually had to break down the so-called spiritual people a lot more than I would even talk to a religious person, because man, they start, for the most part, a lot of them people, just from my experience, a lot of people that say that, they not religious, they spiritual. And I was one of them people for a minute. So I know some of the information that they coming across, but a lot of them, man, they are like kind of confused, man. It's a lot of confusion going on. And for the most part, what I realized, a lot of people that come into that, a lot of people that say I'm not religious, I'm spiritual, what is happening is they transitioning. So they may have came across a lot of information about the religion that they were following. And they may come to a realization that the religion that they are following is false, is not necessarily that good. So they like, man, I got to drop this religion. So when they drop in that religion, it's certain aspects of that religion that they don't want to drop. So that's what leads to the I'm spiritual. So a lot of them are confused because they got the truth about their religion. They want to drop the religion, but they don't want to drop certain aspects of the religion. So they say, I'm spiritual, I'm not religious, but they still confused. It's like an identity crisis. They still trying to figure out the truth. So that's what's happening. When people say that, they in that transition phase, they may have learned a lot about religion that they didn't know about. So they want to drop it, but it's certain aspects of their religion that they cannot fathom dropping. So they say, okay, instead of dropping everything entirely, I'm gonna call myself spiritual and I'm not religious. And I'm just substitute words. And that's all that's happening. That's all that's happening. And Thunder Scorpion, that's all I care about. I care about the truth. I care about what we call the actual facts, the reality. I care about that. Now, I'm always down to have a nice philosophical conversation, because, again, I love philosophy. I fool with philosophy like a big dog. So you can always take these things and you can take the best part from them to help you in your daily life. So I'm always down to kick that. But at the end of the day, I'm about the truth. I'm about the truth. Justin, no doubt, man. I think for the most part, a lot of us have all been there, done that. It felt good to be in that spiritual mix, because it still felt like you really didn't drop that religion entirely. So you didn't necessarily feel as bad. You like, I'm spiritual. But it's like, at the end of the day, that's just like wordplay. It's almost like when people say overstand instead of understand. It sounds fancy. It sounds deep, but it's like, dude, come on. Or they may say understand. You know, like little stuff like that, man, it's extra. When I say understand, you know exactly what I mean. We speak it in layman terms. So sometimes we got to stop trying to make everything just like a lot deeper than what it really is. And a lot of people try to do that. And a lot of people was doing that when they used the term spiritual. So it's like, nah, man, come on now. Because I've been there, done that, so I can relate. Thunder Scorpion, you always come with that wise, intelligent quote. With the wise, intelligent quote. I definitely remember that. The revolution is war. Wise, intelligent, poor, righteous teachers, my dudes. Magic rims, and no doubt. You should always be that. You should always be that. But then even if you feel like, because even just analyzing just history, you have a lot of people who basically had those teachers, like Bruce Lee. He had to learn the game from somebody. When it comes to that, man, you got to find a trusted advisor. You got to find a trusted advisor. So if you feel like you somebody that's going to need that guidance, you got to make sure you really thoroughly research and do the knowledge to who it is that you're about to trust. And that's what happens a lot of times, even on these platforms, man. I get it. A lot of people are not really able to lead themselves. So they need to follow someone. They need to follow something. I get that. There's only a small percentage of us that'll be able to lead ourselves. It's only a small percentage of us that's going to be leaders. So a lot of people, they need something or someone to follow. The problem is you tend to follow the wrong person. You tend to follow people that are manipulating you. They don't have your best interest at mind or at heart. So you really got to thoroughly examine these people that you're looking up to and following. I didn't see too many people on these platforms, man. I'm talking about people that got scammed out of money and all type of stuff, man. Just following the wrong type of people on here. Justin, and that's it. Everything just is. So it ain't necessarily that things are good or bad. Everything just is. Your perception, your perspective is what makes it good or bad. But again, everything is neutral. It's like people say guns are the problem. Guns are neutral. Guns don't kill that. The gun ain't gonna kill nobody until the person is behind that trigger, pulling the trigger. So the gun in and of itself is neutral. The gun can be used for a positive. The gun can be used for negative. If you defending yourself, if you a woman, you being attacked, you being raped or molested, and you pull out the gun, the gun is good. The gun is positive. You just going out here being destructive with the weapon, shooting people for no reason. Now the gun becomes destructive. But the gun in and of itself is a neutral tool, neutral weapon. Dominique, man, like I said, I love everything, man. I will study, I will read the Bible, I'll read the Quran, I'll read something from Buddhism, Daoism, I'll read atheistic texts, man. I got a lot of books on atheism, man. A lot of people be looking at that like, oh my goodness, dude, it's crazy. No, you got to read those books. And I got the African spiritual systems. Man, I got a book right here. I'm gonna drop a jewel. I'm gonna bring this book up, talking about the doggone tribes. Conversations with Ogo Temeli. An introduction to doggone religious ideas. Like I read stuff like this all the time. Conversations with Ogo Temeli. An introduction to doggone religious ideas. So like I'm always surrounding myself with things like that, man, just to provide that fresh perspective, man, just to get insight on all the different beliefs and all the different systems that's out here. Because it's a lot of different beliefs. It's a lot of different belief systems that's out here, man. It's a lot of cultures that's out here, man. And I just like to study them. And you can take best parts from them all. And you can see how most of them are similar. And you can see how a lot of them are different. So it's like, man, that's just what it is. But I like to study them. Yeah, Kenyatta, most definitely. It's all about showing and proving. It's all about showing and proving. Yeah, Static saying, and that's what it is, man. That's what it is. That's what it is. Bruce Lee told you to discard it. If it's some information out here, and the way I'm looking at it, because a lot of people get offended about the truth, like the truth, again, is neutral. So when I supply you with the information, you can either take that information and utilize that information to benefit you, or you can just discard it, man. Just ignore it. If you don't feel like this information is going to help you, man, just move on. Just move on. Don't waste time on it, man. Just move on. So take that information. If you can take the best part from everything. So I would suggest take the best part from the information and discard the rest. So you settle on the best part. Instead of saying, oh, no doubt. Now there is a time now I'm not gonna lie, there are times where I like to watch debates when people debate about these things, but a healthy debate and argument, two different things. So I'm all for it. Like if you want to debate, if you want to bring me some facts about your religion and somebody else got some facts, like I enjoy that type of stuff when it's healthy. But just to argue about it, like, nah, I ain't got time for that. But I like when people come together, make valid points in a respectable fashion, in a respectable form. I like that type of stuff. So healthy debates, like I'm all for that. I'll watch it. I'll watch a healthy debate on this type of topic. I would participate in a healthy debate in regards to some of this subject matter. But again, arguing about it, no, no. Dominique, no doubt. And the thing of it is, Dr. King, before he actually passed, he had met up, and this is in the Fall of America by Elijah Muhammad. But Dr. King, before he actually got assassinated, I said passed like he actually died of old age. Before he got assassinated, he met up with Elijah Muhammad. And y'all heard me talk about this. He met up with Elijah Muhammad, and he talked about the things that Elijah Muhammad was teaching, and he talked about how it resonated a lot with him, how he believed in a lot of what Elijah Muhammad taught, but how he could not preach that for obvious reasons. Obvious reasons. People don't understand that part of Martin Luther King's mission was constructed by the government, was constructed by those boys. It essentially, they kind of coerced or forced him to be that passive person. So that was by design. Like you didn't just have Malcolm X and Martin Luther King just by chance. That was by design. They was like, hey, these black people getting a little too rebellious. We got to counter that. And that is where Martin Luther King came into play. That is where Martin Luther King came into play. They was like, nah, we need somebody to tell them to turn the other cheek. They had to neutralize. They had to neutralize Elijah Muhammad. They had to neutralize Malcolm X. They had to neutralize that energy. And they did it with Martin Luther King. People don't understand that. Martin Luther King even knew that himself. That's why he was saying what he said to Elijah Muhammad. He was like, man, I believe everything you say is resonate with me. But you already know why I had to teach what I had to teach. And so when he started realizing that truth and when he was finna break away from that, he got assassinated. Oh yeah, Magic Realms always got to practice the discernment. That's key. That's key. Yeah, Thunder Scorpion. Like I said, healthy debating. I'm fine with it. Healthy debating, healthy discussions. I'm cool with it, man. As long as it's respectable. As long as we ain't yelling at each other and we ain't listening. We just waiting on the other person to finish so we can yell at them. Like, nah, then that's when I got a problem with it. But when two scholars come together, man, two people that you can respect in regards to their information and they present their sides, I love that. Oh, Dominique, no doubt, man. Some of the most foul things I have seen in my life have come from people who subscribe to the Bible, that subscribe to a Quran. So again, you got to think about how that's impacting the youngin that's observing that. Like it's like, dude, y'all subscribing to these religions and all this type of stuff, man, and obviously it ain't making y'all no better. So it's like, what do I need it for? To become a reflection of what y'all doing? Basically, be a hypocrite? Travion, no doubt. Like I said, it only becomes a problem when they make it a problem when they try to basically criticize you for not believing. And I run into that problem a lot. So that's why this even becomes a problem. So we can easily, be respectable. For the most part, when I'm like coming from a non-religious perspective, I'm respectable. The problem lies though, the religious people get a little aggressive, as if they just assume that by default, since you are black, you are religious. So they start making a lot of assumptions. They start saying a lot of religious things and kind of forcing it on you to where you have to like kind of stop and say, listen, I'm not about that. So that's when I started to have a problem with it. Stop assuming that every black person is religious because they are black. No, we have some black people that are not religious out here. So you need to stop making that assumption. So I run into that problem more than enough. So that's when it becomes a problem. It's like, man, just stop assuming. Just like I don't assume everybody is like me. I don't assume that. Dominique, no doubt. Everything. I study life around me. Like that's what I do. I study life around me. Life is around me to be studied. Nature is out here to be studied. Like it ain't just out here. Like we can study that. You can learn from that. Done the Scorpion. I'm gonna have to check out that app. Jamar, peace. What's going on? Dominique, no doubt. No doubt. And that's what we be here to talk about. And we ain't even out here talking about justice no more. We gonna create that. We gonna create that type of condition. We talking unification. We talking building. That's what we on. We talking about building. How can we be the best version of ourselves, man, collectively? Oh yeah, Kenyatta, no doubt. Yeah, as long as we realize we got a common enemy and we fighting kind of the same fight, then I'm rocking with you. Oh, Jamar, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Like I said, but like I told y'all, I know y'all have had that problem, man. When y'all have just been interacting with people and they just make an assumption that you religious simply because you black. For the most part, that's what they do. So that just like that can get a little annoying after a while. It's like, man, come on. Oh, but Nora Russell, I know all about it. I know all about him. And yeah, Dominique, and that's basically what he was talking about. Yeah, nature. Yeah, nature is definitely one of the greatest teachers, man. Especially when you just learn how to kind of decipher and learn what to look for. Learn what to look for, man. That's how you got to do it, man. You got to look at nature with that critical eye, man. You got to look at everything with that critical eye. Then you're going to be able to extract all the jewels, extract all the lessons, extract all the beauty. Like that's how we going to operate. That's how we got to operate. Kenyatta, no doubt, man. Appreciate it, man. But we, like I said, we warming up. We taking over. It's gonna be some information. Like I said, they're gonna get tired of the stuff that I'm gonna be on, man. We challenging everything. We challenging everything. And the reason why I say we challenging everything, because a lot of people, they didn't got too comfortable with their way of thinking. So we gotta challenge people, man. That's the only way to sharpen the sword. That's the only way to sharpen the mind. So a lot of the things we have been taught, as we all know, most of it was a lie or is a lie. So we gotta challenge that normal way of thinking. We gotta challenge that. We gotta challenge that normal way of thinking, man. So we gotta think above and beyond that. So that's the type of stuff we gotta present. We gotta bring to the table. That normal way of thinking has got to go. That normal way of thinking has got to go, man. We got to evolve as a people, man. We still clinging to things that our people were clinging to years and years ago that obviously didn't help their situation. So we got to evolve. We got to transcend above and beyond these things. We got to create new things, man. We continue to revise what they had. We ain't even revising them. So we got to create new. We original people of the planet Earth. So it's time for us to take a different approach. So that's when it comes to, and that's Kenyatta, that's exactly what the knowledge gang thing that I'm working on is. It's a think tank. The people that's going to be serious about it, like I said, I'm going to do a video about that, and all the people that's interested in going through the process, all they're gonna have to do is contact me. But we're gonna have that reading list. Because we gotta get people that's serious about information, that's serious about changing their lives. So it's gonna be some dietary things to adhere to, and then it's gonna be, like I said, a reading list and all that, man. So it's gonna be several things that you will have to do to become down with the mix, because we don't want to just have everybody being able to be down with it. because that's how you get infiltrated. That's how things become corrupted. So you got to be willing to do certain things, because that lets me know that you're serious about this way of life, because it's a way of life that we about to push on people. It's a way of life that we about to promote. It's a way of life that we gonna live. So we creating our own way of life instead of adopting and adapting an old way of life. Nah, it's 2021. Like, we original people, we gonna do something new and different. So that's exactly what I'm working on, man. It's like a black think tank, but it's also a way of life. It's also a brother and sisterhood. A lot of times those things get divided. So it's either it's a brotherhood, then it's a sisterhood version of it. No, we gonna combine it. So this gonna be a brother and sisterhood. We ain't finna exclude nobody, man, woman, and child. That's the Trinity. That's the Holy Trinity. It ain't just man, and then it ain't just woman, and then it's child. No, it's man, woman, and child. It's the Trinity. It's the Holy Trinity. So it ain't gonna be separate requirements for it. Ain't gonna be a separate version of this for women or a separate version of this for men. No, it's gonna be all inclusive. We all in it together, man, woman, and child. If it's a child that want to be down with it, if they can read the material, let them do it. James Brown, when it comes to confidence tips, I always go back to knowledge of yourself. Figure out who you are. Figure out your strengths and weaknesses, and then focus more so on those strengths. But once you get in tune with who you are, then your confidence level will skyrocket. But you got to get in tune with who you are. So you got to ask yourself important questions about oneself. What's your strengths? What's your weaknesses? So you got to break yourself down like that. Really get to the bottom of who you are as a person. Once you get to the bottom of who you are as a person, then there's no limit to your confidence. So that's what I always recommend for like confidence tips, man. Just getting in tune with who you are. That's when I became more confident. Once I became aware of who I was and accepted who I was and embraced who I was, it don't even matter. Now I don't even care what anybody think of me, man, because I'm 100% confident. Back then, I didn't know who I was. I didn't accept who I was, didn't love who I was, didn't embrace who I was. Therefore, I care what other people said. Now, man, I can walk outside any which way, and I'm confident, I'm comfortable. You can't tell me nothing, man, in regards to myself, because I know who I am. I know what I'm capable of. I know the power, and I know the ability that I have, the abilities that I have. All Kenyatta, no doubt. It ain't even, we create a new culture. So, hey, if we ain't getting the culture back, we just create a new culture. We original people. So we can create our own culture, a new one. So that's all we doing. That's all we doing. That's all we doing, man. Creating something new. Creating new culture. That's all it's about. That's all it's about. But yeah, y'all, man, this been another powerful stream, man. It's a nice interaction, nice dialogue, man. So I appreciate all the people that donated. Appreciate all the people that was in the chat commenting, man. Just is always a good thing. It's always a positive build, man. Just interacting with you all. We don't get a lot of negativity in this chat room, and that's always peace, because that's what I'm about. Peace. That's all I'm about. Disseminating that information, bringing that insight, all of that good stuff, man. So it's always a good vibe, man. It's always a good vibe interacting with you all. But I'm about to tune on out, man. Y'all tune in to the wife too, man. She about to go live in a minute. So we going back to back. So the wife about to be live probably maybe 20, 30 minutes possibly. So y'all tune in for that one for sure. So I'm about to get off here so I can allow her to do her thing, man. And I'll do my thing a little bit. So y'all be easy, man. I'll probably catch y'all tomorrow. If not tomorrow, most definitely Tuesday. Y'all know how I do it. I'm unpredictable. I done went live 3 days. 3 times in one day. So no telling what I do. No telling. Like to be unpredictable, man. That's a part of myself that I have embraced. I don't stick to regimens like that, man. So I'm unpredictable. I'm mysterious, and what they say, God moves in mysterious ways. Y'all know how I view myself. Y'all know how I view myself. So I move in mysterious ways. So that's how I operate. I move in mysterious ways, man. It's a method to it, but it's mysterious. So I'm always dropping jewels when I get inspired, when I get motivated, or when I learn something new. Jamar, no doubt. That knowledge gain coming soon. I'm a knowledge gain coming soon. The takeover coming soon. Build, destroy, all that coming soon. So the takeover is coming. Takeover is coming. The world gonna have a problem. But like I said, man, I'm gonna go ahead and tune on out. I'm gonna exit so the wife can get out here and do her thing, man. Make sure y'all tune in. But y'all be easy, man. Y'all enjoy this Sunday. I'm out, y'all. Peace.